Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tiffany. If you're new here, have you ever just had one of those mornings where you have everything ready to go, you're going to get it all done, and then everything kind of starts to fall apart? That is today. I was trying to film this already once before, but the dog knocked everything over, I spilled my coffee. This is all that I have left of it. It's just been a day. So I decided we needed a change of scenery. So I came outside so that we can get through all of this because there's so much information that I want to share with you guys about Oakley. He is 3 months old now. So I'm super excited to tell you guys all the things that we learned and just all the fun stuff and unfun stuff that we've experienced so far. So stick around and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I broke everything up into categories. So hopefully I can figure out how to use the timestamps so that if there's anything that you missed or want to go back or want to skip to, you can just find all of that and go to that. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was kind of his first week with us, because that one was a little bit more different than now, as he's kind of more in a routine. He came home and he was pretty tired, but still a little playful. He didn't seem like he was sick, but we did figure out that he did end up with a parasite. So that could explain why he ended up throwing up the first night and wasn't sleeping well and having diarrhea a lot. But other than that, I mean, he was pretty normal and pretty good. He was so cute though, because he wanted to be by our feet at all times. So he was running around with us all of the time, which was nice. He wasn't trying to explore or get into too much. So it was nice to know that he would just follow us around everywhere and we didn't have to worry too much. That's not the case now. So when it came to taking him out, we pretty much took him out about every half hour. One of the great things that we did was we have a chalkboard that's right next to our back door where we take him out to go to the bathroom. We would record everything that was happening right there on the chalkboard. So every time he went to the bathroom, whether it was poop or pee, every time he ate, every time he played, every time he slept, everything, we just wrote it all on the chalkboard so that we could keep track of everything and kind of figure out a pattern of when he was going to the bathroom and doing certain things, and then kind of turn it into a routine that worked for him and worked for us. So that was kind of my best advice, was definitely just observe and keep track of all of the things he's doing at first. Just kind of write it all down, whether it's on a chalkboard or wherever. Thankfully, my kids were on board as well, so they were really good whenever they would take him out or anything like that. They would be writing it down too, so it was easy to figure out a schedule for him. So I definitely recommend doing that if you can. But yeah, our first week kind of flew by. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep, but it was still good. Lots of cuddles and lots of fun. So next up would be his first vet visit. That was really good. Everything checked out really well. Okay, here we are. Woo! At the vet for the first time with this little guy.
The doctor? The puppy doctor?
Yeah, at the puppy doctor.
What do you think?
What do you think about the puppy doctor?
That's the doctor.
He was still pretty underweight, I'm guessing because of the parasite. He got all of his shots, so that was his second round of shots because his first round was with his breeder. He did really well with all of that. They actually took him into a different room and did his shots and everything and his exam in another room, so that, I don't know, maybe he didn't associate us with giving him the shots and stuff. I don't know, I'm not really sure. Let me know if your guys' vets did all of that in front of you or not, because I'm pretty sure with our last dog, we were there when they did all the shots and the exam and everything. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But everything looked really good. We did leave there, and right after we had left, we went to go to lunch and then picked up Naomi from school, and he did end up going poop, and we were able to grab that, take it back to the vet so that they could do a stool sample, and then that's when we found out that he had Giardia. So he was sick for a little bit. They gave us medication. He was on it for 10 days. And then a week after that, we took another stool sample in for them to test, and it came back negative. So he's all good now. So let's talk about his sleeping. So like I said, the first week since he was sick, he was going out all the time, had diarrhea. So he was pretty much up every half hour to an hour the first few nights. So that was rough. But we soon kind of got into a routine, and once he started taking his medication and stuff, he started feeling a little bit better. So we put him on a bit of a schedule at night, trying to get kind of a nighttime routine down for him. So he would play a little bit, take a little bit of a nap around, I don't know, 7:30. And then about 8:30, Josh would put the kids to bed, and I would go into my room and play with him. He'd be super crazy and rowdy and fun, and just bring up some toys and play with him, tire him out as much as we could. And then about 10:30, he would get pretty tired, and he would just kind of curl up and lay down and go to sleep. And then we would move him into his crate after that, and then he'd usually just go right back to sleep. We also did that when we first brought him home, anywhere he would fall asleep, we just let him fall asleep. Usually it was on the nice cold tile since it's so hot here in Arizona. So we would let him fall asleep and then just really gently move him into his crate, and he would just sleep there. We'd shut the door so that he got used to being in his crate. He was already used to being in a crate sometimes to eat and things with his breeder, but definitely not for sleeping at night. So he did actually really well with it. He would whine a little bit and I would just kind of stick my fingers through the crate slats and be like, I'm here, and then he'd kind of settle down. He would usually whine a little bit at first if we tried to put him in his crate before letting him fall asleep. So we did that a couple of times and he whined for maybe 10 minutes. It wasn't too bad, but usually it was just easier to let him fall asleep and then just kind of move him in there and he'd stay there and be fine. So now what our routine for sleeping is more of, we go upstairs about 8:30 and we play. Super rambunctious, but he also learned how to get up on our bed. So he'll play and play and play. Josh will put the kids to bed and then he'll play and play and play some more. But he's been kind of rowdy until about midnight. So we're trying to work on keeping him up more during the day because he'll usually take lots of naps during the day. He likes to sleep at Josh's feet while he's working. So we're going to try to keep him up more during the day so that maybe he'll sleep better at night. But he would play until about midnight and then he'd curl up on our bed with us and just kind of relax and fall asleep. And then when we were ready to go to sleep, which was pretty quick, we just pick him up and move him into his crate, and then he's been staying there all night pretty good. It's like a child.
No.
You have to go to your bed. Come here. Did you not get enough cuddle time? Did you not get enough cuddle time?
He all runs away.
Come here.
Nope.
Oh, you're so much heavier than you should be. There's been a couple of nights that he's woken up, but usually he's been sleeping through the night until about 5:30 or 6:30 in the morning. But when he wakes up at 5:30 or 6:30 in the morning, he is like up and ready to go. So it's feed me, play with me. He wants to play with the kids when they're trying to get ready. So it's get up time. There's not like, okay, just let's cuddle a little bit longer. No, he's ready to go. We're really excited for summer too because all of our schedules are going to change, and we're super excited to be able to start taking him for walks soon so we can tire him out that way as well. Because being able to go for walks right before bed is going to be amazing, but we can't do that until he gets his last round of shots, which will be on June 7th. So on to potty training. Potty training has actually not been that bad. He was semi-potty trained before we got him because his breeder was really good about having them go out and be with the other dogs, and they did pretty well. So when he got here, he learned it pretty quick as long as we were reminding him to go. So by day 2, he pretty much learned to use the doggy door, which was really nice. But then we started getting a little bit lazy at taking him out all the time. At first, it was like every half hour, then every hour. Once we realized what his schedule was like from keeping track, we knew, hey, he can actually hold it for pretty long times, an hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours. So we knew he didn't need to go out quite so often. And now that he was using the doggy door, it was like, we were doing pretty good. But then he ended up having a few accidents in the house, which was not ideal. So now we're realizing, okay, we need to get back on track with making sure we are reminding him at least every hour or two to take him out so that he's not having more accidents. But he really hasn't had very many accidents. I mean, I would say maybe like 6 total. So really not too bad. When we first got him, every time he would go out to the bathroom, we would bring treats with us. And when he started going to the bathroom, we would repeat, go potty, go potty, go potty over and over again, which was super annoying, I'm sure. But it taught him to somewhat know when we say go potty, it means to go potty. And he usually does it and is pretty good at it. But as soon as he was done peeing, we'd give him the treat right away. So now usually we'll come out and we'll try to tell him to go to the potty and then we'll play a little bit, but he's been pretty good about it mostly. Okay, so for socialization, that's probably my most fun part about all of it. He's done so many fun things. I had to make a list so that I wouldn't forget what we all did because we had a lot of fun. The first day we had him home, my brother and his girlfriend came over and played with him, and it was super fun to get to visit with them. And the same day, my son's friend came over. We went out and showed his mom and him Oakley, and they were like, oh my goodness, that's so exciting. Well, they just had puppies as well. I'll put some pictures in of Oakley meeting their puppy, but it was so cute. So they got to meet each other. So we got used to like a different looking dog, which was really cool. Then on the second day, my niece came over and she came and played with him. So that was fun. She has a dog as well, but we weren't quite ready to introduce them yet just because he was so new and everything. So she came over and played with him. So he's been able to get to know lots of new people. We also went to Home Depot, and that was really fun. He kind of walked around a little bit. Tobin went with us, and we ended up getting a whole bunch of fun stuff to start a garden. And we're working still on the side of our house to put in a place for him to go to the bathroom. It'll be so much better when we can take him for walks, and we have so many walking areas and green areas where we live. So we're excited to be able to go for walks a lot and be able to do that. So right now our backyard is not the best for where he has to go potty. We had a lot of rock down, and he has been eating the rocks. I'm not sure why. I don't know what the deal is, but we're kind of dealing with that. So we're trying to get all the rocks up as fast as we can so we can get him to stop eating all the rocks, but also to prepare it to put down the turf. So that'll be really good when that's all in. It's just taking a little longer than we thought it would. So we also got to go over for a dinner at my mom's house. So we brought him with us over there, and he got to meet my sister's dog, Mike. He's a little mini schnauzer. He's so cute. So she brought him over, and they got to play, and they played the whole evening, and that was really fun. So we got a little socialization with another dog there, and going to another house, and getting to meet new people. So that was really good. We also took a trip to PetSmart. We went to a restaurant after his vet visit, and he got to sit there and just kind of hang out with us and see what it was like to be at a restaurant. So we're trying to get him out as much as we can to different places. My son had a friend come over, and he brought over his dirt bike. So I was like, don't leave until we get him close to the dirt bike so that he can hear the loud sound and, you know, get used to that. We have a list that we got. Actually, one of the people on YouTube that I follow and I absolutely love, she has so much good information, and I love how she trains her dog. She's really great at explaining things and doing things. So her name is Marissa Nicole, and I think she just started a new channel for her dog called Freya the Floof. Oh, she's so cute. So go and follow her and watch her videos because she's got really, really good ones, especially for the training. She had a whole video on different experiences and sounds and all kinds of stuff that you should try to introduce your dog to their first 16 weeks, because in that first 16 weeks is a huge socialization period where you want to get them used to as many things so that later down the line they're not scared of odd things or weird things. I had a dog once that was scared of plastic bags, so you just never know. So the more experiences they can have, the more well-rounded they will be and less afraid of things they will be. So it's been a little bit harder not being able to take him out anywhere. We don't even take him out to the front yard to go to the bathroom or anything because there's so many dogs in our neighborhood that walk, and a lot of people walk around here, and so we've really just kept him in our backyard or taken him places where he didn't have to get out and go to the bathroom. So we just don't want him to pick up anything else that could be bad for him, especially knowing he already had a parasite, or spread that. We were really careful, especially once we found out he had a parasite, not to let him go anywhere because we didn't want him leaving his poop anywhere either. Also, we've been trying to do a lot of playing with his ears and his paws and brushing him, all these different things, trying to do as often as we can so that he gets used to all of those things as well, especially for when he has to be groomed and things like that. So it's all been going really well. He still does not love his brush, but we are definitely working on that. He also had his first bath, so that was super fun too. He didn't hate it, but he definitely didn't like it. But he did really well. The Burt's Bees shampoo I don't love. You actually had to use quite a bit of it just to kind of get a good lather and get it everywhere. So I could see us going through that super fast, and it didn't make him smell that great. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't as bad wet dog smell, but it wasn't like a good smelling, fresh, clean smell. So I don't think we'll buy that again. But, you know, it worked. He got clean. He's actually had to have quite a bit of baths. He's also gone swimming in our pool. So that's been really fun. He totally loved that. He kind of fell in on accident when we were swimming because we have a slide, and he loves playing on the slide, and he basically just rode the whole slide down, fell in not knowing what was going to be at the bottom, and was so good swimming to the side. I mean, my husband was right there to catch him and help him, but he just swam right to the side and got out and was good. Moving on to his training. So like I said before, Marissa Nicole was really, really great, but I don't know if she also listened to these people, but two really, really good people on YouTube that train are Rachel Fusaro, I think that's how you say her name, and also Zak George. I know Zak George is a pretty big name. We also bought his book. I'll insert a picture of it right here. I listened to his book on audio because I just didn't have time to sit down and read. We were trying to get ready. But I did go through that book and I watched a lot of his trainings and a lot of Rachel Fusaro's trainings, and they were all super great, especially for crate training, just all the things. So I definitely recommend you go and follow them if you are getting a puppy, because, and even if you've already had a puppy, I'm about to go back and watch even more videos because we're kind of past that stage of coming home. I think I watched a lot trying to prepare for him coming home, and now that all that's happened and we've gotten through that, now I need to go and start watching all the, okay, let's start training him and doing other things. But some of the tricks that he knows, I'll put in a clip of us doing some of the training with him.
Where's your place? There's your place. Good, nice, yes. Hit. No, yeah. Yeah. Forward. Sit. Good. Look, we did. Good, yes. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Off. Sit. Good boy. Good. Touch. Watch me. Good watch. Good watch. Yes. Good sit. Off. Oh, good ball. Yes, good ball. Good ball. Yes.
But all of the training that he knows how to sit, he knows paw or like shake, he knows stay, he knows crate, he knows bed, he knows spin. We're still kind of teaching him, but he basically can do spin. He knows lay down. He knows touch, so he'll run up and touch your hand. He knows heel. He does really good with that. As long as we have treats, a lot of it is treat led, so he does really well with it. It's fun to see him progress and start to do things without having to have the treat right there and him getting used to it, or when he has to think through things, it's kind of fun. But yeah, those are most of the things. He knows off and up. He's not so great at them. We're still trying to teach him leave it. That's kind of been a big one, especially with the rock eating issue. So that one's been a little harder. There's a plane going by. Hopefully that's not too loud. But yeah, he's so smart. He's learned so many things already. So that's really exciting. We're working on the biting now and the whining. He does actually whine quite a bit. So we're trying to teach him quiet, but that's kind of coming up. We're still doing some smaller things. But basically, when we go to train him, we'll feed him half of his food and just use each of his little kibble just to be able to go and do all the treats with that. That way we're not giving him a whole bunch of treats. So we just use his feeding time as part of his training time twice a day. So that's been really good. Having that reinforcement has been really good for him. Another thing that we've been pretty good about is trying to let the kids also do training with him and feed him. That way he learns to respect them and listen to them as well. It's easy for them to jump all over the kids and stuff, but when he is very food motivated, it's a lot easier to train him. So they have all been doing really well with training. Even Tobin, who's 3, he doesn't do quite so well because he doesn't understand how to give him the treat without Oakley trying to bite him and making him wait until he doesn't bite to get the treat. He gets really excited to get the treat. Sometimes he gets scared he's going to bite his fingers. So he kind of just throws it on the ground. But I still try to incorporate him doing some training. That way he just learns to respect and obey everybody in the house and not just Josh and I. But the main thing that I can say for training is just be consistent. And that's why I really like doing their training with their food, because it makes me have to do it twice a day. Another thing we've been working on is having him walk around the house since we can't go out for real walks, getting him used to being on a leash with a harness, because he did not like it at first. And so I'm glad that we've been practicing that so that when we do get to start going on walks, it won't be just crazy. So I really recommend doing that as well. So moving along to his schedule, I wanted to put in here kind of just a picture of what his schedule looks like right now. It's not like this every single day, but it's pretty much like this. Our days are usually pretty the same as far as, you know, we wake up and we feed him and train him and we have the kids going to school, and then our work days are pretty normal, and then all of the picking up and leaving for me to pick up kids from school. And I mean, everything is pretty set in stone. We had sports every night, so each of the kids who didn't have sports that were old enough to stay home alone would stay home and take care of him and make sure he wasn't getting into anything. So he hasn't actually been left alone at home very often, maybe like for 20 minutes he has. So we definitely right now need to start working on leaving him in his crate at home for a little bit and then increasing that little by little, because I definitely don't want him to just freak out and go nuts when we have to leave. He's already pretty attached to us. I could be standing on one side of the gate, and if he's not on that side of the gate with me, he starts whining. So we definitely are going to start working on that. I wish we would have worked on that a little sooner, but it just didn't work out for us to be gone much because somebody was always at home. So now that sports are over and school's winding down, I think we'll probably be going on more trips. Let's go to the park or go to the water park and things like that. So we'll be able to leave all of us more often. I also haven't been able to go to church because I didn't want to leave them for that long. So I would stay home and just watch it online while everybody else went to church because I didn't want to leave him that long yet. So we definitely need to work up to that because I really miss it. But to run you through his schedule, basically we wake up around 5:30 to 6:30 and he's up and kind of whining. So we get up and we take him out straight outside to go to the bathroom, and then we'll kind of head back upstairs to go wake the kids up for school. If it's a Saturday, they all sleep, and then that's a little bit different, but we'll usually just get up, make coffee, and hang out with him. But on the school days, work days, the kids get up and start getting ready, and I kind of play with him a little bit while the kids are getting ready. And then Josh takes the kids to school in the morning while I stay home with the dog and feed him and train him and play with him for a little bit. Then he starts to get a little bit sleepy and starts taking naps and waking up a little bit, and then taking naps and then waking up a little bit. But mostly he's kind of sleeping by Josh's feet most of the day. He's starting to wake up a lot more now though. So I'll come down and play with him, or when I get home from picking up Naomi from school around 12:30, then he'll be up and ready to play again, and we'll play with him and stuff while we're making lunch, and then play with him for a little bit more, and then he'll take another nap for a while, and then I leave to go get the kids at 3 and I get home around 4, and then he wakes up again once everybody gets home because he's excited to see everyone, so everyone will play with him all over again. And then he's usually kind of sleepy around 5-ish, and then he wakes up and he starts to get a little hungry. If we're making food, he's kind of been jumping up to the table and to the chairs and trying to steal the food off the table and stuff, so that's been terrible. So now everybody's kind of getting used to keeping their food pushed way out in front of them and keeping the chairs pushed in and saying off when he tries to get up. So we're working on that. But then we usually eat dinner and then kind of hang out and play with him a bunch more, and then we kind of start that nighttime routine where we go upstairs and play with him for a while, and the kids get ready for bed and go to sleep, and then we play with him till he tires himself out and then fall asleep on the bed, and then put him in his crate, and then he's asleep for hopefully the rest of the night. And then it begins again the whole next morning. But that pretty much sums it all up. I wish he could have been in this video, but I tried to record that and he was just being crazy and biting me and jumping all over me. I couldn't even get a word in. So I had to do this video without him, unfortunately. So I think that pretty much covers all that has happened so far. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out. If I did, or if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. I hope you have a very beautiful day, and until next time, bye.